Thank you very much, Paul. What I'm interested in, Dr. Gatwa, is you put in germination, you showed that where you used the CuO, the germination was higher than the normal. Can we go to that page if you remember?
That would be the one in Ghana.
Yes, okay. Can we go to it where you refer to, where the CuO, you see the high level of germination with CuO? Here we see it on the left-hand side.
Yes, here it is.
It's fairly at a very high level. Again, wherever CuO has been used is fairly high. The reason for this is copper has a connection with amino acid, which has a connection of oxygen. Is, if I can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Keshe.
Okay, what I'm gonna do on the side that you can see is the amino acid. This is important scientific, especially for those who carry for the food production, and the same for a space travel decontamination. The amino, yeah, I need a better color black. Amino acid is Mr. Cohen, which has a combination of the carbon. So what happens if you look at the CuO, most of the germination does not happen in the seed because they're fungus, there's a bacteria with it. So what happens, it means when it has a bacteria, it has a connection of breathing, which means it has an oxygen connection. So when you put a CuO, if you look at it, this is 43, this is 16, so it gives you 59, 60 or about, roughly, depending on the combination of mutation of the amino acid, which this behaves as copper. So when you put CuO, in fact, the copper links with this, and it paralyzes the bacteria on the seed. So now the seed can grow without the bacteria destroying it. One of the reasons seeds don't germinate is the presence of bacteria. We see when a seed is kept for 2 or 3 years, the germination doesn't happen. If you clean it from it, the bacteria on it, 99% of the seed, unless they don't have the germination seed in them, they all grow. So if you use CuO, you see it with again with CO2, stays at 55%. CO2 has the same, CuO is there where you have CH3, you add CH3 to it, then it becomes it makes it less effective because the amino acid links up with the CH3. So if you look at it, whenever farmers use just a drop of CuO, we use it for disinfectant. So in a way, germination increases because you kill the bacteria on the seed. We have to understand the science behind it. CuO has a direct effect to balance. It does not kill the bacteria, but bacteria are amino acid based, and they're always to breathe, they need an oxygen link with them. So they become around 60, and the copper, which is 59, 60, links up, they close the loop, you have a free oxygen. So now you have, or even the oxygen from the CuO can link up with the amino acid to create a balanced CuO. So the bacteria does not have an effective life. It becomes a balance. It can exist, it still exists, we still see the bacteria, but is not operating. These are the beauty with this new technology. These are the advantage with it. And if you now use the CuO, if you go back on part of your research, you showed where the CuO mixture was in there. In some cases, the growth was less, not as effective as. But when CuO is carried forward into the growth, it does the same thing. it stops the growth of the or mutation of the amino acid. So when you use a CuO for before germination, you wash it clearly, you have a beautiful seed. We've seen 90%, 95% growth of the seeds. And when you use it as part of the structure of the liquid for growth, if it's a very, very minute amount, it stops any infestation, it stops fungusing, it stops a lot of things. But if you use it slightly unknowingly, then you stop the growth. So it has to be used. How to use CuO is very effective for CO2, and if you use CO2 and CuO in conjunction with what you call Monsanto process, you just destroy the whole work of Monsanto. This is one of the main application of what do you call it, genetically modify the seeds, any kind of seeds, it shows to be effective one, irrespective of. This is something which very soon, with support of the governments, which we are working in the background, we launch this internationally. Monsanto in generation, genetically modifying seeds to control as a means of control of the food chain has come to an end. And you see it very clearly, scientifically we know, it's been done before, and as is magnetic gravitationally controls with the seed, it brings back a balance. Most of the modification changes, and we've shown that it can be done with the grass, from wheat to grass. It duration you have, it should be very short time. Any modification goes, the flower, the seed goes back to its flower, which means can be used by the farmers again. This is going to be effectively used in India and in the third world nations.